Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy second recording on this Wednesday morning. So I made a recording this morning. I wasn't going to make another one today, so I thought. um, I'm down in my basement doing some paperwork. So if you hear echo, please forgive me. I'm not even supposed to even be on my social media email, but I happen to try to catch up on some of these emails. And a young lady sent me an email about 2 weeks ago, but I just received it again. There's a lot of emails that come through, so sometimes they get lost in the sauce. So please don't let your seed of abandonment trigger you to make you feel like, well, kids is not responding, so I'm not important. That's seeds of abandonment and rejection. Don't let Satan play out with your head like that, because he will. He will. And then before you know it, you're unfollowing and unsubscribing people because you feel like they're not good. You know, that happened to me, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. Someone, well, I won't even get into all that, but I don't think she no longer follows me. I don't know. I mean, I wish her well, but honey, I can't give you 100% of attention. I barely have enough attention for myself throughout the day. Be grateful when God used people rather than expecting someone to only be able to cater to you. It don't work like that. It don't work like that, right? So be very mindful that Satan will trigger you to think something like that. And then before you know it, you're unsubscribing from a person, and then you ultimately miss your blessings or a word that he may have for you, that God may have for you. So let me jump in. It's a young lady who emailed me. Listen, I love her rawness and her realness, right? I'm just that chick. I love raw and real. Like, we're human. Stop living with this facade. Like, life is so perfect. It's all a lie. There's no perfect life. So anyway, she has always, in her words, it was a long, very long email, so I'm going to summarize, but she's always dealt with the seed of jealousy. She does not like to acknowledge it, but she can no longer hide it. In fact, some of her very, very closest friends, some of her best friends who she loved dearly, she does envy their lifestyle, and she is jealous of them. I guess some of them are like living the quote unquote American dream, which is all a facade. The marriage, the kids, the dog in the backyard, the white picket fence, all this other nonsense, right? First of all, let's create our own definition of success. Success is what you create. As long as you are living the life you want, you are at peace and you're happy. That's success, not what society says. Everyone wants to live like the Jones, and most times the Jones are not happy behind closed doors. Society will have people's mind all warped, and this is why people are living these lives that they're miserable in, because they're trying to please people, because what society says. Do what works for you in this lifetime. For you. All right. Back to the topic, Kizzy. So she said she found my channel like 6 months ago when she first heard one of my recordings. She was very intrigued. In fact, the words were like just for her. You know when you can hear those recordings or videos, and it's like that word was just for me. Right? So that's how her first experience was. And then she kept listening. In fact, she stayed up like all night to like 5 o'clock in the morning one time and listened to at least 15 of my recordings. And she's very intrigued. She felt very, very pulled to my spirit. But she's been side-eyeing you, girl. She's been side-eyeing your girl because she thinks I got it all together. She thinks I have the spotlight. She thinks all the men want me. She thinks, child, right? But she's being real. She's having an honest moment. So she decided to unfollow me, or unsubscribe, I should say, because my quote-unquote confidence was agitating her demons and triggering her seed of jealousy. So what she realized is that as the days went on, she felt herself longing to then creep on my page. She didn't subscribe, but she would creep on my page and still listen to the messages. But she would still get triggered. So then she stayed away. And then she got convicted. Convicted so much that she had to send me this particular email. Again, it was very real, very authentic, but very, very loving and warming in the end. And that's what I'm going to speak about when I hit it from a different angle towards the end. I'm going to tell you guys how God will strategically use you. And this is why sometimes you have to kill your flesh. So, first and foremost is, I am not perfect. And I'm the first to say that. And I say it quite frequently. So if you've listened to my recordings and you heard me say it, you've heard me say 1,000 times. I'm confident within my gift and my calling, meaning you're hearing me in purpose. So when I speak with force. I speak with confidence because it's just not flesh. If I'm not filled with spirit, flesh will get all in the way, and I would not be as confident. Again, I keep telling people, because 95% of you only really know me through social media. But when you meet me in person, you will realize I'm extremely shy. I'm not extremely shy, like it won't paralyze me, but I don't like groups of people. You will find me kind of in a corner somewhere. You know, I'm more shy, but you're hearing me move in purpose and calling. That's where that confidence is. So whatever your purpose and calling is, whatever it is, I can't touch that area. If your purpose and your calling is baking brownies and baking cakes, like, you know, those people who can really bake for real. I can't touch you in that. I'll come in and feel all insecure when you asking me to please pour the batter. I'm out of my zone. But you're all confident. You got your the apron on. Like, you're doing your thing and you're so confident. And I'm looking at you like, I wish I had that gift. So you see, your confidence is really your gift. This is why you have to tap into your lane. Your lane is your confidence. And then the more and more you polish that lane, you're unstoppable in that lane. But as a woman, I'm a woman. I have insecurities. Again, not to the point where it will ever paralyze me or make me walk with my head down. And it's not every day. But I'm not walking around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, feeling all unstoppable. We are women. Society tries to pin women against each other. This is why we have to be more intelligent when it comes down to recognizing what society tries to do. You even have men who will try to pin women against each other. Sometimes not even intentionally. This is why a leadership mindset is important. Meaning, you're not going to tell me what I should look like. You're not going to tell me I should have children. I'm going to do what I want to do because I know what I want to do. I am very secure within the life I choose for myself. This is why leadership mindset is so important, because society will have you comparing your life with everyone else. Society will have you living a life that's a lie. You're going home to a marriage that you're miserable in because society says you got to be married by 25. Society says if you get married, you can't get a divorce because everyone's going to deem you as a failure. Society says you better have children by 25 or you're a quote unquote old maid. Right? But everybody in society, or the majority of the people in society, is miserable, unhappy, depressed, on medication, committing suicide. But it's the American dream? Okay. Sis, do what works for you. If you don't want to get married, don't get married. I've turned down 2 proposals. You don't have to be married. Society will make you think that. Nowhere in the Bible, from my understanding, my scripture people help me out because y'all know I'm spirit led. I don't think you have to be married. It's about making sure you're able to sustain from. Somebody help me out there. What my scripture people's at. You don't have to have children. I don't have children. You don't have to have children. That's what you were taught. All of my friends who have children, well, 70%, and first of all my friends don't have children, but what I was going to say is the majority of my friends who have children have said to me clear as day, Kizzy, I love my children. My God, I love my children more than I love myself. But if I had waited longer, I would have done this first. And then have my children. Or I love my children, but now I wish I didn't have children, but now that I have them, I couldn't imagine life without them. All the stuff, right? But they will, listen, they love their babies, point blank period. Ain't no going back from here, point blank period. But my point is this: society will try to make you think this, and that, and then the people who's doing it, they don't even want it. Do you know how many people right now are married and praying to be single? And how many people are single praying to be married? Because we think everybody have it all together. We think the other side is so great. Not realizing your life is already great. The life that you currently have, somebody else is wishing for. Someone is wishing to be single and you're envying your friends who are married. And you've stated you don't even have a desire per se to be married, but you feel like everyone's looking at you because I think you say you're 38, 39, and you haven't married. And so now, because you think people, quote unquote, people are looking at you side eye because, you weren't married or had children, and you think the way they look at you is looking down on you. People can't look down on, well, they can look down on you, but that wouldn't affect you unless you're already insecure and shaky in that area. Right? Because no one can ever cause you to feel insecure in the area when you're already solid in that area. I'm solid in knowing who I am. So if someone was to walk up to me and say right now, Kizzy, why haven't you had children yet? Because I never had a desire. I don't want any. I love them. Children are always around me. I have a huge truck. You will always see heads popping up. But I'm calling your mama. Come get your turn. I'm tired. Point blank period. I don't know. That may change in the next season. But as far as I'm good. So my point is, when someone says that to me, it's not a trigger because I'm solid in that area. But if you're already a little wishy-washy and you're thinking like, well, maybe I do, and that's what the trigger is. So you got to be real with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Do you want children or do you not? If you do not want children, if you do not want a marriage, you got to be solid in that area, knowing that you march to the beat of your own drum. Have you ever noticed, I got this girl, not girl, I'm sorry. We were friends like in like middle school or something like that. But, like you haven't seen people for like 15, 20 years. And so I was at a gas station maybe like 4 years ago. And she said, girl, you ain't had no children yet. Now, mind you, just before that, she told me, she was like, I love your lifestyle. Every time I see you, you're flying here, you're going there, you're on stages, you're da-da-da-da-da. I knew you would always be da-da-da-da-da. And then she said, girl, you haven't had any children yet. I said, no, ma'am. I am whole and complete. Children, or even a marriage, does not, what's the thing I always say? Children and or a marriage does not complete you. That's an addition. When these things arrive in your life, you should already be completed or in your process of being completed. That doesn't complete you. And this is why when people get these things, they get the husband, then they get the children, and then they realize, this ain't it. I'm still not completed. Because it doesn't complete you. It's an addition to an already completed person. And then I looked at her and I said, it was a petty moment. It was a petty moment. I knew she had 6 baby daddies. I already knew that. And I said, oh, girl, how many do you have now? Oh, I got 6. They're 2, they're 5, they're 8. And, oh, Oh, all from that one guy who you dated in school? God, please forgive me. That was a petty moment. That was a petty moment. But my point is this. Stop allowing people to put their own insecurities on you. You're coming to me telling me you love my lifestyle, but you're asking me why I haven't had children yet. But yet you got 6 kids, 6 baby daddies. Listen, if you got 6 baby daddies, there's no diss to you. My point is this right here. She was trying to be petty, and I had to flip it on her. Well, the lifestyle that I have is because I don't have 6 baby daddies. So if you're fine with 6 baby daddies and no husband, please enjoy your life. Please be happy. So, sis, the very first thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to find out where that seed was originally planted. Did you have parents who compared you to other siblings? And sometimes that happens, and I don't even think the parents realize it per se. So if you guys have children, please be careful that you're not comparing your children, because sometimes it's not even done intentionally. But you may have a child who's like the star cheerleader, and the other one may be like the bookworm, right? But the star cheerleader kind of gets all the attention because, you know, you have to go to all the games and you're coming home and you're rah, rah, rah with the pom-poms. And the bookworm is just there, and you're not even acknowledging that the bookworm has started a new book this week. And what we don't even realize that's comparison. Then it starts sibling rivalry. And before you know it, you have adult children who can't stand each other or be in the room longer than 5 minutes before they're ready to tear each other's head off. And everybody's trying to figure out where it's coming from. It's a seed. Where has the seed been planted? Did you have that bad marriage or that bad divorce and your ex constantly told you were fat after the children, you got stretch marks, you're this, you're that, you're this, no one will ever want you, and then turn around and left you for somebody else, and now you're still stuck in that divorce 20 years ago, believing that you're fat, you're this, and you're that, and you're this, and no one will ever want you because he or she said that to you. Not even realizing that was never it. They never felt that way about you. They said that to paralyze you and handicap you so you would feel so low that you could never leave there behind when they start acting the fool. And you really took it as, you're not beautiful. But you pulled him. You pulled her. But you really believe that. Change the perspective. It was never about you. It was about them truly trying to handicap and paralyze you and taking away all of your willpower so you can't leave. Listen, this thing is real. This is life. This is real life stuff. It was all a lie. It was all a lie. The American dream. It was all a lie. Of course, not for everybody. Not for everybody, but for my different chosen people. Sis, I want to acknowledge your strength because, again, writing that letter had to take a lot of strength. I'm sure there were some tears because some of the things you expressed, there were some tears that probably were shed. But I want to say this to you. Nobody has it all together, including your friends. They have their own insecurities, regardless if they've told you about it, regardless if they dress it up. They have their own insecurities. Know that you're not alone. Know that a lot of people have seeds of jealousy, and some don't even know it. They will kind of use it or try to label it to something else, but it's really jealousy when you tap into it. It really is. Something else I want to share with you, sis, and to anyone else who may be listening who have that seed of jealousy, you got to ask God. Ask God to step in, show you your heart. Ask him, literally ask God. God, can you please help me to dig up and heal this seed of jealousy? Because sis, what you don't even realize is the things that people like you, people who have that seed of jealousy, I don't even think y'all realize the damage that y'all have done to other people. It's almost like, well, she thinks she's all that. That's how you see it. And you probably feel like, well, that's all I've done was said this to her or side eye her Let me tell you something. The chosen ones are so connected, we can walk in a room full of 1,000 people and we can find that one, or we can feel that one who's side-eyeing us. We can feel that one who has that thing in her, or in her, that just like, we feel your energy and it's heavy. And many times, what we have done before we have found ourselves? I know I have. I would never do it again. You know what we used to do, and some people still do? We will sit down just to give you the light. And you still won't even take the light. We can be somewhere enjoying ourselves, but because we're so connected, especially my empaths, and you can feel like a person is being or dealing with an insecure moment because maybe the shine is on you, we would sit down in the corner somewhere just so you can have your moment, and we authentically want you to shine, and you still won't even shine. Instead, you rather keep spewing hate our way, not even realize the damage that you're doing to us. So the same damage that you deal with, that hurt, that pain, you're projecting that on us. And then what happens? If you're constantly hating on us for no reason, because you can't even give a reason, do you know what that can do to a mind that is fully not tapped in yet? But I had to learn many years ago. I had to learn. I said this before. About 7 years ago, I had just relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina. And it was an older lady. She may have been like early 60s. Not older lady, but older than I am. But she may have been like in her 60s. And I had tried out this new spot, right? I tried out this new spot. Very upscale, classy environment. But it was one of them old school spots, like when the man got like their brims on and stuff like that. I love old school stuff, by the way. So when I walked in, and it was like, what do you call that group? Masons, like masonaries and things like that. So it was like one of those type of environments. So when I walked in, chosen ones. Now, we don't even try to take the room. That's not what we do. But because we're just so solid in who we are, and we're so confident in who we are, that when we walk in, we take the room, and we're not even trying. In fact, we just rather sit down in the corner and not be bothered, because we're so used to the side eye and that heavy energy that comes from other women that we kind of just make our way in the corner, so we don't even have to deal with it. But when I just walked in, so when you walk in, you instantly walk into the bar area. So it was like a domino effect. It's almost like I walked in and everything went quiet. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went straight to the bathroom, right? Let me go touch up my makeup. And this young lady walked in. She was the bartender. And she was like, girl, I don't know who you are, but it's about 60 drinks already waiting at the bar from you, from 60 different people. And I'm like, well, thank you, but I'm not taking nobody's drink, but I haven't seen being poured. So then when she walked out, another lady came in, which is the lady in her 60s. And she said to me, and let me tell you, I love it. I love it. I love it. I wish I can find her now. She said to me, and I quote, she said, listen, I'm not going to lie. You are something serious. When you walked up in here, honey, it was like a domino effect. These men lost their minds, and a few other things she said, but let me tell you something. She said, you're not going to intimidate me. I know who I am. And I'm just standing there looking at her like, I'm smiling, right? Because I love it. And she's like, I know who I am, honey. So listen, it's enough room for me and you. And we just sat in that bathroom. We talked for about 30 minutes. And I just hugged her. That's the kind of energy that women are supposed to have. I don't care who I am. I will stop and give the next sister a compliment. And I mean it when I give it to her. Like, girl, you are bad. However, I'm going to get up over here, right? That's the kind of energy that women are supposed to have for each other. But society has pinned us against each other. Men, some, have pinned us against each other. Broken consciousness has pinned us against each other. And we wonder why we can't even win together. Can't even work together. Bringing each other down when we really, really can be eating together. Like, for real, right? So when you tap into that seed, sis, and you ask God to help you, God may, He will let you know. He may pull you from those friends for a season, because sometimes it's hard to heal when you're still around the areas that trigger you. He may. That's between you and God. I'm just saying sometimes that's how it happens. Once you heal, one of the best things you can do, this letter that you sent me, this is what I feel you should do to all the people in your life that because you said you've done some little sneaky, not to me, but some sneaky things to your friends, like you sent like certain, it was petty. But again, God forgives you because you were operating from a seed of jealousy and brokenness. God may send you to be honest with these people and tell them some of the things you've done. And it's going to be hard because you're going to have to humble yourself and ask for forgiveness, right? If that's what he tells you to do. Don't do it because I say it now, right? Because you might get your little head messed over there. You done sent people letters and all kind of nonsense, right? So be careful there. Next, once God helps you to address that and you start to heal, when you are truly healed, and it's going to take some time now, because think about it, you've been dealing with that for majority of all your life. So once you are truly healed, the best thing you can do is start women empowerment, and however way you choose to do that. That can be YouTube, that can be writing a book, that can be motivational speaking, but tap into women empowerment, because the truth of the matter is, a lot of times your true purpose and your calling sometimes is in the very same thing you struggled with, the area you struggled with. So help other women. Speak to other women who may still be operating from a seat of jealousy, and help them to understand that it was all a lie. The things that they were told were all a lie. So help them to heal and then encourage them. Then you can come back to people like me and apologize. And truth of the matter is, most times if a woman is really tapped in properly, she will forgive you, because we realize it's not even you. It's what has happened to you. And then in the true authentic conversation, we will let you know you ain't the only one who deal with no insecurities. We're human. We're women. We all deal with that stuff. But it's about making sure that it doesn't paralyze you. Right? So ultimately, you said you came back, you subscribed, you apologized. I mean, you didn't do anything to me, right? But you apologized, and now you feel like God, quote unquote, God sent you back to my channel to help heal you from the seed. So at the beginning of this recording, that's what I was saying, that many times we got to be careful that when people come to us and reveal things, it's almost like we want to just send them on their way because they've done so much damage. And of course, not her, because I mean, she didn't do anything. She just been side-eyeing me through the recordings. But I'm talking about people who have really done damage to you, people who've lied on you, people who have sent somebody a letter and start some like things like that. People who really have harmed you. Sometimes God will use you to help these people find him, to help these people heal. And this is the difficult part about being used, because you have to move your flesh aside, because your flesh want to kind of like, listen, I'm gonna bust your head to the white meat, point blank period. Stop playing with me all kind of way, point blank period. Right? God, that's flesh. That's flesh. But God will have you to go right to them same people, or send them same people to you, and you can't even reject them. If you're chosen, it's about being used. And when you're being used, it has nothing to do with you or your flesh. It's all about helping people heal, ultimately finding their way to God, and increasing the kingdom. And not with black stockings and white shoes all the time. God forgive me. You guys have a great one. It's your girl.